Oh, we live, baby.
We are live. I'm excited. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Y'all Not Ready for That Conversation. We are talking about Lovecraft Country. And I'm going to say it probably 20 billion times. If you have not watched the show, politely please excuse yourself from today's conversation because we are not holding back. We're talking all things season one and everything related to the Black horror renaissance. I'm Ariel Chanel. I'll let my other two co hosts introduce themselves.
What's
Um,
going
uh,
on?
what's up, y'all? The spoiler alert theater.
And I'm Lawrence.
And um, we just need to get into this. I have watched season one. I will let you all know about 3 times already, and it just ended on Sunday. So yeah, um, I had to dig into it. I had to do my homework. It was like it was school. Um, so yeah, yeah.
Yo, I binged that entire joint in 2 days. My brain is probably gonna explode, but it was so good.
Yeah, I will go back and watch it completely beginning to end again. But as much as I love TV and film, period, I don't think I've ever gone back to like see certain details about any show like I have with this one. Like I'll just have a random thought I'll just have a random thought about a scene or a question, and then I'm like, all right, I got to pull up HBO Max. Let me see.
Right.
Let
Let's see
me
what
let me go
happened.
back to this episode and refresh my memory. So
That's,
yeah, needless to say, I think this show was amazing.
dude, that the all the characters were incredible, dude. Uh, Journey Smollett can play anything.
Yo, I was telling Ariel, I think a couple of days ago that I never realized how great of an actor she actually is
Yeah,
because
nuts.
I mean, she's been on TV um
Forever.
most of my life.
Yeah,
Y'all's entire lives.
pretty much.
But when she was a kid, I found her annoying because she was always like one of the smart mouth kids. Like,
Yeah, she was always too cheesy, too happy, and like,
well, not even just that, but like they were like, and I think she was because she was in Full House. I know that much.
she was in Full House. She was on the Cosby Show.
Yep, she was in the Cosby Show. I think she was one of Olivia's friends.
Yeah, she was one of Olivia's friends.
Yeah, but back then, like I said, like I thought she was annoying
Yeah,
because she always had a smart mouth.
yeah. And then hanging
And
with Mr. Cooper.
oh yeah, I forgot about hanging with Mr. Cooper. But yeah, but then as she got older and she was still doing it, she was just okay, you know. She was just another, cute actress. Didn't really think nothing of it. Then I think it was I can't remember the name of it, but I think Denzel Washington's in it. Is it The Great Debaters?
Yep.
I think that was the first movie where I was like, okay, she really got something. But this series, as great as what's the dude's name, Jonathan, as great as he was, as great as
Yeah.
everybody else was, I think Journey Smollett carried that show
Yeah. She went
like on her
nuts.
back. She had some of the dopest scenes.
Yeah. No, she went crazy.
Yeah, and she was able to just the way that she showed her emotion, like without even saying anything, like just in her face, um, in her mannerisms, like it was just,
No,
it
it was really
was,
good.
yeah, she was insane.
Dude. So okay, here we go, spoiling stuff.
Oh,
But
spoiler.
the like when she first started discovering her house is haunted, she's going down in the basement.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
or when she like, what was it when she puts her pictures together because they got all the scratches on it,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
dude. And then like, so how weird was it, right? That the museum and her house were connected.
Exactly. I said the same thing. I was like, how did how did they get back to Chicago? They were in Boston. Like,
I thought the museum was in Chicago. Chicago. You know
No,
the.
her house was in Chicago. The
the
museum was
museum
in
was in
Boston.
Boston.
Oh wait, I need to run that back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the museum was in Boston.
because Tree
Mhm.
came with them
Yep.
to Boston so he can save some money on a bus to
Uh,
Philly.
Yeah. And then when they left, or
yeah, but they passed Philly to get. Wait, hold on.
No, they didn't have to go through Philly to get to.
no, he just hopped a bus from Boston to Philly because
Yeah,
he
they
said he
went
had to
from
take them
Chicago
home.
straight to Boston.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was just being that guy. He was bruh
So,
man.
so wait, they got to from Boston to back to Chicago in their house in two
Back
hours.
to Chicago.
I gotta run that back.
Listen, walking on the Underground Railroad. You hear me?
I guess
That's
so.
what they did. It insane. I tell you. I was like, wait, huh? What?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
nuts. That was
yeah.
nuts. That was a nut scene. I think.
Dude, or like, was it when they're in? Was it Artem the first time, and they're all having these visions, and all the what you call it, lodge members, whatever they are just watching them go through all these crazy experiences.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were just watching and chuckling.
Right. I'm like, who's this Asian chick dude is fighting?
Wasn't that
Because that was before we met Gia.
Yeah, we didn't meet her yet.
We
Yeah,
hadn't met her yet.
I can
Like they
never
said in
remember her
Hamilton,
name.
you haven't met her yet. So,
It's just Fox Lady.
But
but he did.
he did say her name though.
He said her name. He said,
Right.
"Gia, I don't want to hurt you." While he
Right.
was fighting her,
But I didn't know who she was. I was like, wait, what? Who?
and then choked her neck out.
Right. And after throwing her through a table.
Yeah. So let's
You heard that
let's.
snap too.
Hmm?
I know. Let's go. Let's go episode by episode because there's a lot
Right.
to break down.
So let's break it down.
So we start out with episode 1, where again in the very very beginning you have Atticus, also known as Tip.
First of all, the names on this show were interesting too.
Yes.
Atticus, Montrose, Hippolyta.
Montrose, Hippolyta. I think uh Diana and George were
The most
like
normal names.
the
I
most
mean, and I
normal.
guess Letitia,
Ruby.
I guess. Ruby.
And Ruby. Yeah. Yeah. They were. They were the most.
Right. But I'm like, where do you get Atticus from?
See, that kind of makes me curious now because I didn't think about it until I didn't think about their names until you guys just brought it up.
Right.
But I'm wondering if there's something behind their names.
Which is what I'm thinking.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because we know there is with Hippolyta and Diana,
Yeah.
or, if you change it up, you get Hippolyta. And we know Hippolyta and Diana, you got Wonder Woman and her mother.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep. So shout out to Anthony. If you're watching this, he pointed that out.
Yeah, he was the first person I said,
Right.
or I saw point that out.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna take credit because that was his. He saw that one. But you have, their names, and it being, as she points out later on, as Dee points out, it's Greek, as she
Right.
proudly tells the cop. But going back to that whole, the Greek mythology with them and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it also, like thinking of their names, if we jump forward for 2 seconds, since we're talking about her name right now, with her going in episode 7 to the I Am episode, which I'm not going to
Yes.
get too deep into because I want to talk about it more like in depth. But
That's my
just
favorite
to
episode.
see, oh yes, me too. Like talk about, we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't want to. We got the whole episode, and
Yeah.
I'm super excited because I loved this show. But you have her being this like Amazonian warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And so with her name being what it is, it matched with
Right.
that
With
whole
that,
scene. So
that makes a ton of sense now.
yeah, like just the little things, like the little things about this show. And again, to everyone who's watching, if you have something to say, because I know I can go on for days about this show. And I know the guys are excited as well. But if you have something to say, make sure you drop it in the comments because um, we want to hear what you have to say as well in the conversation.
Right. We're talking Lovecraft Country, and we are spoiling everything.
Everything, all the spoilers
All of the spoilers.
are happening today.
Mm.
So, Lynn, do you have anything else you wanted to say right now that was like at the tip of your tongue
Um.
about episode 1 or anything
Yeah.
from introducing the characters?
So, for those that don't know, the thing that I love the most about some shows is the world building. So it's like the story itself can be cool, but I like the stuff behind everything else, like why people are the way they are, how they came to be who they are, and all that stuff. So when it comes to shows and movies, I really love Easter eggs. I love foreshadowing. And just like I said earlier, I went back and forth looking at different scenes over and over again because, like, of when it comes to foreshadowing, you don't know what something means until it's been revealed, and a lot of times you can forget what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just see something like, okay, that's cool, whatever, but then something else happens, and it brings your mind back. It's like, wait a minute, they, you know what I'm saying? And you're going back and forth. So as far as like episode 1 is concerned, the thing that I thought was dope that I missed the first time I saw it was in Tick's dream at the beginning. You have when he stops to see, is it Gia? I keep want to say Jinya.
Yeah, I think it's like G
Gia.
Young or something. Gia.
Okay, so when Gia is coming down from the alien ship, like she's the was a princess of Mars in his dream. Behind him, you have an Amazonian warrior fighting on one side, and then you have a police officer biting someone, laying on the ground, like he's like eating someone's face. I'll just say face, but you can tell he's a police officer because of the color of his shirt and that belt, that
Right.
the utility belt that police officers had.
I have to go back and see that again.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I thought that was dope because later on, you have Hippolyta fighting with the Amazonian warriors, and then you also have what happened with the police in episode 1 with the Shogas, and the one police that was bit but he wasn't eaten, turning into one, and he was attacking his boy.
Dude, that joint was great.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh man, they got them in the woods. Oh, here we go. Even that cop that chased them out of whatever county that was.
What they say, Devonshire County?
Yeah.
Well, no, they were going to Devon County.
Right. It turned them around.
Um,
Ended up in Worcester.
yeah. But I was gonna say, I think. Well, no. Yeah, they probably were in Devon County because that's where they had trailed the road to Artem to, and so they were trying to find it there. So yeah, the cop chased them back to Worcester County.
Right.
All that happened, and then they walked back to Devon County. Um, there was something else that I just remembered, but it slipped my mind, so I have to bring it back later.
I low-key want to go find Artem now.
So that is something that
okay,
that Lawrence and I were talking about, because at least in my mind, I think it's possible that I know where that fictional county was, because it was all close to Boston, and the direction that they were coming from, I'm pretty positive, and I'm gonna say it, that they were very close to our stomping grounds in Dedham, Massachusetts, because in history, Dedham was a sundown town.
Oh.
Yeah, that was what I had forgotten that I wanted to bring back up.
Yeah.
Because I had heard of sundown towns, but I never heard of sundown counties before. So right after the first episode, like the very next day, I'm looking up sundown towns and what they meant, and then I was like, well, let me just type in sundown towns in Massachusetts, and when I saw Dedham, like I literally, like I put my hand down from the computer and I just looked out my window.
You like that?
Yeah, because like if I was able to get on my roof, I could probably see Dedham from my house.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then hold on. But then how long? Because all right, let's. Because then it said it was going to take them how long before sundown?
It was 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh, they can't get to Worcester in 7 minutes.
Well, no. They it was just from where they were to go back to where they were coming from, not to where they were trying to get to. Because I'm not really sure where exactly.
Yeah, it gets fandangled.
It does get a little fandangled.
Yeah, because I think they have Artem on their map, like around Salem.
Okay.
I think that's where I saw it.
Right.
But another dope thing, world building, that I looked into Saturday, I think it was. It's either Saturday or Sunday. There is no Devon County in Massachusetts, but there is a Devon County in England. And the same way that we had the Salem witch trials here,
right?
They had a similar situation go on over in Devon County in England.
That's why we're New England.
Yeah. So yeah, we do the same thing y'all do, just new. But
that's why we're New England.
We just do it newly.
We just do it.
But yeah, I think that's like what I was looking at. People were hypothesizing. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
They were hypothesizing that was just the link that they were using. Because, with a show like that, you can't use like specific places.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
did you say you can, Chris?
I said you can't. The Hunters would be out.
Oh.
Yeah, like.
But low key, I think Devonshire is low key Middlesex.
I was like, but also, like, so say we were to make a similar show, and we said that Suffolk County was all racist, like bloodthirsty racist.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
I was like,
like there's like so. All right, so
Have
no,
you,
we're
have you
not.
been to Southie?
Yeah, I was like,
We're not going to go into the details.
I don't know
However,
why, but okay.
however, um, like the people that run that county or like some of the people from the cities can sue like whoever produced the show because like for defamation.
Right, like a false
Yeah,
narrative.
like a
And all that.
civil suit. You know what I'm saying? And then you'd have to pay them mad money. So you have to make it. You can say that places are near real cities,
Right.
but you can't be like, yeah, this all happened right on Hyde Park Ave. Mad witches stabbing up slaves.
I mean, have y'all seen Hyde Park Ave?
I live on Hyde Park
Yes.
Ave.
Oh,
Sounds like witches and slaves to me. You know.
oh my goodness.
We don't have to go there because we don't want to get sued for defamation either.
Yeah.
I mean, I already said I think it's
Come get nothing.
so.
What'd you say, Aria?
Come get our 2 cents.
Listen,
Literally.
never mind.
Then give it back to the government because it's theirs.
Because I owe them.
Right. So wait, so what were those beast things called?
Shoggoths.
Where do they say that?
Tick said it first. Tick was
Yeah.
the first one to explain what they were.
Oh, you know what? Before we even see them, he said it jokingly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was the first one before the cop pulled them over when they were.
Yeah, when they were just looking for the road.
Oh, yeah.
And they heard something. And the lady was like, "What is that?" He was like, "Shoggoth." And also, Ariel. So I guess this is episode 2. The Shoggoth that Christina birthed from that cow was the black one.
What was the other one that was protecting them?
Yeah.
What? Wait,
Okay.
where'd you find that out? Because now I gotta go look that up.
I looked at it again, and I watched it. I was watching it again, and I was looking at it specifically because all the other ones were like gray.
Mm.
And so when she first, took it out, I was like, okay, well, it wasn't the black one, it's gray. But then I realized it looks kind of gray, but there's like that sack that's still like over it.
Right.
Amniotic fluid.
Yeah, like so like the sack skin is still kind of on it, but you can see that it's
calling it a sack.
Yeah, like that's what it is, right?
It's a sack.
No.
It's not the fluid because the fluid would have spilled out.
I mean, listen, I think we're trying to analogize was it fictional character anatomy
Yeah. Either way.
I mean, it came out of a womb
of a cow.
Yes. All right.
but a womb nonetheless. So the sack was still on it.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so
Wait, is there a problem with saying sack?
the cow just stop.
No, like the sack is a real word. There's nothing wrong with saying sack. You're not gonna make me feel like I'm using foul language.
Not foul, it's just funny.
The black Shoggoth was in a sack. The sack skin was still on it, so you couldn't tell if it was black or not. Then they took it out the sack and cleaned it out.
This is why I said I know you guys. And this is where I was going. Anyways.
Listen.
You started it.
Hey.
Whatever. Charlie, what's up?
What's
Thanks
up,
for
Charlie?
joining us today.
What's up, Charlie?
I see Michaela,
What's up,
Shayna,
Kayla?
Everybody, just thank you all for tuning in. As you know, we're talking about Lovecraft Country. We're not talking about sacks and animals coming out of sacks. We're talking about all
If you saw the Shoggoth in a sack, just type sack in the chat.
We're talking all things Lovecraft Country.
Come on, sacks in the chat. Sacks in the chat.
We want to hear what you have to say. We're going through, I was about to say line by line, precept by precept, talking about this show and the renaissance of Black horror.
Shoggoth sacks.
Anyways, so yeah, I need to see that, Lawrence. I
gotta see that again too.
I gotta go back. as many times I've watched it, but also I'm kind of like, so another thing that I said in the beginning, if you have not watched the show, you might want to politely excuse yourself from this episode because we are going in and I'm about to give away a spoiler already and it's early on. But again, like I said, should have watched the show. So, um, you mean to tell me that she gave birth or she created the very thing that the very thing that helped to her demise?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
That is terrible, but funny and great.
that's
What's
good
up,
writing.
Vanell?
Vanell, dude.
Vanell, Sacks in the chat.
Stupid.
No, she said bye. I think she's really Vanell. You haven't finished it? Vanell, I need you to finish Lovecraft Country.
Oh shoot.
It's great.
Oh,
But
Yo, before
yeah,
one thing,
interesting.
the whole. So why did they paint the White House white again? Situation.
Yes.
Man.
Yes, that part.
Dude.
With Miss Letitia F. N. Lewis. Those
Right.
her new
Letitia
initials.
effing Letitia mother effing Lewis.
Oh my goodness.
Dude.
She
went
was
to the
booking
back.
it in them heels. Like,
Oh, yeah,
out
she
in the
was out.
hills. And then jumped in the driver's seat talking about run.
yep. So let's get the heck up out of here. It was
Dude.
gone. Yo, like, but to listen, even going back and listening to the phone call,
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know, they're doing the Negroes travel guide, the Negro Safe Travel Guide.
Yeah, the Green Book.
Yep, which is a nod to the Green Book.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're going, they're looking for places that are friendly to Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was listening to, because they were talking about like the name of the place and like and everything. And I was like, I think that the owner was white of the restaurant that got burned down.
Right.
Because when the guy was on the phone with them, he was like, no, I didn't serve them, not after what you did to Miss So-and-so.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, they're over here. Like, if you are a Negro lover,
right, we gonna
we're
run
letting
your
you
stuff.
know what we do to you. So that was like a little tidbit, because at first I thought it was just like a black restaurant that had been taken over. But then when I listened again, I was like, oh no, like that was actually a white restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah.
With them biscuits and gravy that smelled good. I was like, oh, they basically turned it into a Cracker Barrel. But yeah,
it looked like a Johnny Rocket.
yeah, because that's probably what Johnny Rockets was based off of.
Oh no.
But
they're racist. We said it.
She said that was the funniest scene in the whole series. Was them running out that restaurant.
That joint was
she agrees that she thinks Miss Lydia was white.
And served, yeah, that was probably the thing. You can't be serving them Negroes.
Nope. But in history, at least from what they tell us in school, which we take with 5 grains of salt, they did say that like a lot of people who were supporters of African Americans were getting like really, really, really harsh treatment.
Oh yeah.
So that makes sense. Like, you gotta kill the lady and then burn down her whole store. Like,
and then take it over like nothing happened.
And then take it over like nothing happened.
Paint it white.
Yep. So continuing on, we have the order, all the lodges.
Dude.
And we get to meet Stina's father.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Fitz.
Fitz. And
No, not President Fitz. When I saw him, I was like, oh, great. It would be
Listen, I was either gonna say Fitz or Pence.
oh shoot,
you.
they definitely have some Pence-esque features there.
Yeah, we'll we'll keep going. We won't touch that today. But when you had him taking his like liver out
Yeah,
for the ceremony, and they were um how they were all going to eat it as
right.
an
As
initiation
the initiation to the ceremony.
to be like that was their like jump in, like blood
Yeah.
in, blood out. Like,
Tick said, "Don't eat that."
yeah, he's like,
He was like, yo, what I loved about that scene was it was just a reminder of, for me, it was a reminder of all the potlucks.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep,
The this job, this uh, not telemarketing, but it was like over the phone customer service,
Mm-hmm.
and we would have our potlucks, and like we would literally, like, whenever we'd go up and see what was what, if we weren't sure about it or if we didn't know where it came from, we would just like look at one of the other black people in our group and
Yep.
just point to it, and they would either, yeah, you got it, or like, nah, don't fool with it.
Nah. Listen, man, all we got is us.
Yeah, I love, like, that's like, I love what I do now, but it's stuff like that makes me makes me miss working at companies. Like, it's never the job. I hated all my jobs, but I always love the people that I work with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when I work with mad black people. We are the funniest people on the planet.
We're hilarious.
Listen.
Dude, the office I share now, it's all black people. We be in there going crazy. It's the funniest thing. Jokes on jokes all day.
Listen. I can't wait until we're able to get the Link Media to a point where we have an office.
Dude, that'd be great.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna be up in there.
Oh yeah.
Asking people to do all the work that I was never able to do.
Hilarious.
I can't.
Dude, but like them waking up in the in that like lodge and having clothes that magically fit them and
all their favorite books.
Yep.
Yeah, and Tick just upset.
Because Tick didn't get nothing. It was like Christmas.
He got a yellow shirt.
Dude, them having their memory taken.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yes. And how like as much as they would try, they couldn't remember. And like the idea of that was so crazy because you could see the journey and how amazing she is at playing this character. Like you could see like the panic rising in her,
right?
Because her brain was like, "Yes, you should be remembering this."
There was conflict.
Yeah, it was so perfect when she was like, "Because I don't remember." Like it was very like Get Out-esque.
What, dude? I feel like I saw Jordan Peele has a credit in there.
He's the EP.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, him and J.J. Abrams are the
dude.
I guess the main executive producers.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele can do no wrong right now.
Yeah. But I will speak up and say this is all the brilliant mind of Miss Misha Green.
Yes.
I will give her flowers.
She's the creator of the show.
Dope.
Yes.
Listen, still.
That black woman killed this show.
The executive producers just signed the checks.
Listen, keep signing them checks.
But Michaela said something
in
the chat that I wanted to.
I saw We were going to get to that.
I just wanted to bring it up now because I want to know. I want Michaela to delve deeper into her thoughts behind that. For those that will watch this later on and can't see the chat, Michaela said, "Can we talk about Christina being the embodiment of white feminism?"
Yeah, listen. Yes, we can talk about that.
Yes. Yes.
I have thoughts.
Right.
I do have thoughts as a black man.
Bilbo who?
What'd you say?
Bilbo what?
Listen.
But I will step aside
Bill?
because I want to hear what
Bruh.
excuse me. I would like to hear what Ario and Michaela
Bruh?
specifically would have to say.
Bill?
If you know me, you know I've said this from the beginning of watching the show. I 100% agree. And I'm pretty sure I talked about white feminism on this here podcast before and my thoughts on it. And so you have Christina, whose main thing is anything you could do, I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
But at the cost of somebody that is quote unquote beneath her.
Exactly.
And so even though it looks like from the beginning, going back to the first episode, she does favors for them. You know, she helps them get away from the cops. She does all these little things throughout the show. But at the end of the day, it really is, I'm here to get where I need to get for myself, and I will sacrifice every single thing and every single one that I can to get what I want and to get the power that I want. And so, although in my mind, I don't see anything wrong with it, because at the very, very end of the show, she talks about, you know, how like if this doesn't work, she would have sacrificed all of her family for nothing and like all that other kind of stuff. Like it didn't matter. Like her father gone, Tick gone, everything. Like none of that matters. I need to get mine. You know, I'm breaking through the glass ceiling for me. Like where
And that goes to a later scene, which we won't get to yet, but with her and Ruby, she's talking about at that moment you were a woman who wanted to get what she wanted to get.
yeah. Yes. Yes. And Michaela said Christina was willing to sacrifice the Black people so she can gain the same power of white men,
Absolutely.
which actually she wanted more power
Than the white man, yeah.
them, because her idea was that I can do this better than you.
Right.
And I just need to prove that I can do this better than you.
And I'll sacrifice everybody in the way to get there.
Yes, and I will sacrifice everyone in the way. William died. Too bad, so sad. You got her little guard lady. Too bad, so sad. Like I'm now going to use you to do what I need to do to get where I need to get.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Michaela said she tells Tick, I don't have anything against you. You just so happen to die because of the spell I'm doing, and I want immortality.
Right. He's insignificant except for the task she has.
Exactly.
Which is why she's like, he come willingly.
Yes. Yeah. And so you know, it goes to a lot of points about our own history where not everybody in the suffrage movement, but a lot of the suffrage movement really was. Go ahead, Lawrence. You want to take it away? I'll let you speak on it.
No, I was thinking about bringing that.
I'll say it. I am a woman. I have no choice. No.
Oh, listen, I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
However, I do think that you will articulate it in a way that I cannot.
And so a lot of the movement wasn't it. Now it's shaped to look like, you know, it was rights for all women, but African American women were not included.
They were excluded.
They were excluded from that. And a lot of the idea was, if you let us have this equal right with you, we can block the rights of those who we deem as less
Second,
than us.
right, second class citizens.
Mhm.
Second class citizens just so happen to be of a darker hue.
Billy
So,
Black.
so it had nothing to do with helping to pull everyone up by their bootstraps, as a lot of
Right,
people love to say. Had everything to do with me and mine. And it
right.
really is a battle between the white male and the white.
And that's the thing. Like every time they give a new set of whites freedoms and choices, it's to keep black people and people of color from those things. It's
Yes,
to keep them in the majority. Even making Japanese people white.
yes, yes. And so Michaela said it too. She said the first wave of feminism, or the feminist movement, was specifically to um let us, meaning, white women, get their
Mm-hmm.
rights so that we
Mm-hmm.
can keep blacks down.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why, I've said it before on this show, I have my beef with the feminist movement.
Hmm.
Um, Now, does that mean that I'm like, you could step all over me? Absolutely not. If you know me, you know I am the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
But um, a lot of things that come out of American history I have problems with. Anyways, moving on. So we have uh we're now at, we talked a little bit about the house. So we know they meet Christina, they go in. Well, we got to backtrack a little bit because
Mhm.
we meet Hannah for the first time in
Mm.
episode 2. And that's where things get interesting, because Hannah, as we know, is the ancestor of Tick, and how he gets caught up in all of this foolishness
Right.
from his mother's line. And I thought that was really interesting. And I definitely wanted to talk about that today, because that maternal line is the strongest DNA line that we have as humans. So whenever they're trying to figure out who somebody is, if you have like a John Doe or a Jane Doe, they check the mitochondrial DNA,
Mm-hmm.
because that bloodline that runs through the mother, like you can trace it all the way back to Eden.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about that, that's where he was trying to get back to. He was
Mm-hmm.
trying to open the portal to
To
get
get
to Eden.
right.
And so you have this maternal line. Like, I don't know if she meant to do that, but I thought that that was genius. That the line runs through the
The
mother's.
mother. So dope.
Yeah, everything is so layered. Excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a part of like the original plan, or at least what was worked out through the writers.
Right.
Yeah. And how, because of that, and because of that blood now going through, kind of switches up a little bit, because, pig, blah, 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 son. But
Right.
still the same. It's that bloodline, but still the fact that it's coming from the mother's lineage
Right.
on down.
And why it was so hard to like trace because his mother was gone.
Yeah, because she no longer is in the land of the living.
Right.
But you have, um you have like this blood that is like magical, and we don't understand it fully until a little bit further in. Like, we know he finds out there that he has the blood of Titus
Right.
running through his veins, um and Titus and blah blah blah, with all his foolishness, and like them wanting to sacrifice him again, like being the one who can help save the magic for the white man.
Right.
Like, we are going to sacrifice the last living heir of the quote unquote like founder and creator
Right.
of the lodge, so that we can have more power.
Right.
Like, that was wild.
and then watch it all crumble, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and then watching them turn into stone and then dust.
Dude.
Michaela said it's interesting they decided to make the main character a male, especially since all the ancestors were women. I never thought about it before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they kept the main character male because of the book.
Yeah.
They changed a few things in the book. I mean, from the book, but I think I'm pretty sure that if this was an original story, it probably would have been different.
Right.
Yeah.
And Journey would have been the main character.
Who?
Journey Smollett.
Oh, Journey. I'm sitting there thinking, what character was named Jenny?
Or even how like Journey, by way of having Tick's baby, like now it was like the transfer of power. Like
Right. She's
it
carrying the
happened to
bloodline.
her.
Right.
Yeah. Because even later on, when they both open the book of names, was it Tick's great grandmother?
Mm.
Yeah. His great grandmother told Letty that she was there because the baby brought her there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and because of the baby, she was like, because of this baby in your womb, this goes to you now. This right of protecting the book.
Yeah. Anthony said Christina was a man in the books. Atticus was always Atticus.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't read the book, but I know Christina was a man. Don't know what his name was. George lived.
William?
Oh, he was William.
I'm not sure. I'm just I'm asking because they do the whole William switch thing, which is another.
He was he wasn't William. It was something I think still with the C.
Oh, okay.
I just can't remember it right now.
He was Chris. He was Chris with a Y.
Right.
to make it magical.
Yeah.
To make makes it magical.
And then like
Michaela said D was a boy in the book.
Yep, D was a boy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what town they ended up walking into with all those like it looked like whatchamacallit, Quaker people.
Yeah. Like
the Amish.
Children of the Corn.
Right.
That's what it was. I don't know. That was strange, but
yeah. Well, I mean, that was all Artem. That was like the town of Artem. Right. I guess the lodge was kind of on the outskirts.
Yeah. Let me find out what Artem Mass is supposed to be. Well, I guess Artem's supposed to be Salem.
Yeah, that's the area that was on the in the atlas that they were using.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it was just like Plymouth. They were just walking around. They were walking around present day Plymouth.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Chris?
I said yeah, like oh no, I'm reading stuff now. Now I'm like,
Yeah. So let's fast forward. Let's talk about episodes 7 on.
7 was I Am, right?
7 was I Am.
Man,
that was, when I tell you, that was one of the most beautiful pieces of cinematic art I've seen in a while.
Yes.
Like seeing I'm trying to think of the words that I want to use, but seeing Hippolyta like owning who she is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not just that aspect of it, but seeing a Black woman in a sci-fi role like we've never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole Beyonce, the Afro goddess.
Got it. Yeah. Yo, first of all, can I just put a pin in that one? The music selection in this show,
Oh yeah.
dude,
Shout out to Raphael Sadiq.
them
Yes.
joints were like, cause I'm like, yo, even like having like Rihanna play when Shorty's driving the silver.
Yo,
I was like, yo,
yo, I swear I saw her bop
you're
a
right.
couple of times while it was playing. I was
Listen,
like, I know that's what she listening to. She used the magic to hear that Rihanna.
Cardi B
Cardi B.
playing where
Oh,
Ruby got at him with them shoes.
Oh yeah,
and the whole blood.
These was
Yo,
bloody
that
shoes.
scene.
yeah. That scene was wild.
These
I might skip that scene on the
these
rewatch.
is bloody shoes.
I might skip that one.
I was like, no, she's not about. Oh,
She put that dude to work.
Woo.
she worked that dude.
But
Yeah.
even with that, like being able to like have this actress playing another actress, like
Mhm.
in this, like that was amazing to me. Like you have
Yeah.
you have like all this going on, and then the music on top of it, like it was
Yeah.
just such an amazing thing.
The
And
music
Anthony
is
said
so good.
having like old school joints
Mhm.
with some Cardi B and then some Dorinda Clark Cole, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
you have, and some Shirley Caesar, like all of it in there.
Yeah.
But it was all perfect
It
timing.
all worked
Like
so well.
it all worked. You had another Easter egg that I saw from episode 1 was Ruby was like singing a song and dressed as sister was it sister, dang it, why am I blanking?
Oh,
I never remember her first name, but Thorpe.
Rosetta.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so like the style of the guitar, the outfit she was wearing, the
Oh yeah,
song,
yeah.
like it all was paying homage to her. And I loved how they kept paying homage to different people throughout the different episodes. Like I thought that was dope. I also laughed because the song she was singing was I Want a Tall Skinny Papa, and she got one.
That's true.
I didn't even think about that.
That's true.
So I thought that was funny. I was like, ha, 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 ha.
She got the tall, skinny papa. Well, in that whole situation,
Yep. Tall, skinny pop.
Mampa.
Mappa.
Mappa.
So
But since we're shouting out Easter eggs, I gotta go back a little bit, back to episode 1 again, and shout out the Easter eggs for Gordon Parks.
Ooh.
Some of those shots, like the most popular one is the whites only sign with the mother and her daughter, like the daughter has her back to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And then you had them like come out of the store or whatever. When they were at the ice cream parlor on like the side, that was another one. And then the line of people kind of waiting. I don't know if it was a child line or what exactly they were waiting for, but then the billboard above them says like the American Dream or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's another one. I'm not sure if there are any others, but those are the 3 that stuck out to me that I was able to find.
Those are so good.
Yeah. So stuff like that is what really, like, it really gets me. Like, even, all right, well, that's kind of going further into like the last episode, but
listen, at this point we might as well just go there because there's so much to the show where in the time we have, we're not gonna get to all of it. Like we can spend literally a month breaking this
Yeah.
shit down because that's how dense it is and amazing. And
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to go back and rewatch because like I like busted through it in 2 days, and I was like, yo, what is this?
Yeah. All right. So, um, what's the name? Afua, the
Yeah.
artist. She did all the art for for each episode. Like everything that Dee drew was done in real life by Afua.
Mm-hmm.
She's a dope artist in general. I was already following her on Instagram before I even knew that was her stuff. But they shouted her out
Yeah.
when her mother made she made a whole comic book and was like, yeah, this little artist named Afua taught me how to draw.
Because yeah, when she went to the future, I was like, oh, okay.
Michaela said, my most beautiful, perfect scene I've seen in my life. Letty with the baseball bat, the music, the outfit, what the background characters were doing. Yeah, that scene was dope.
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember them saying that they were gonna use Beyonce.
Mm.
Was it Hold Up? I think that's the one where she was beating that car up with a
Yeah,
baseball
yeah,
bat.
yeah, 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 yeah. From Lemonade, yeah.
Yeah, they said they were gonna use that, but I think it was like a little bit too on the nose. So they
Okay.
so yeah, I can't really picture that scene with Beyonce because the song, like the tempo of the song, is like too slow.
Yeah,
yeah.
the song they used was perfect.
Yeah. Michaela said 2 days law. That's heavy. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what were we saying
I
about
think
2
it's
days.
about how
Look
I've been.
how I watched it all in 2 days.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And she said next Hallelujah night we should dress as Lovecraft Country characters.
Hi,
I'm
you go ahead.
I was trying to figure out who I was going to be this year because I'm all ready for it. I just need to figure out if I have something that I could pull together to be one of them.
We'll pull out that zoo suit from when they went back to
Back to the
When it went back
20s.
to Tulsa,
went back to Tulsa.
yeah,
That even that whole scene was nuts too.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Tulsa was crazy.
Yo,
yeah,
so the I guess the like how common it is now for people to put like Tulsa in all these shows is kind of because it was also in what was the
Watchmen.
other Watchmen, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
like I think that's kind of interesting how they highlight Tulsa the way they are now.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
has a lot to do with um, the other part of what we are going to talk about today. Kind of, not really, because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
But even in like just the renaissance that's going on with Black horror,
right.
like having Tulsa and everything, um, it was like retelling our story, like
Right.
finally putting it out there that like we're not gonna shut up about our history. We're
about what
not gonna
happened.
shut up about
Hmm.
what actually happened. Because I know even for myself, like the first time I really heard about what happened in Tulsa was mm, when I came back and was working at the Croc Center, and there was a family that lived in the
Oh
area
yeah, yeah,
who would come to the Croc Center and like
yeah,
was
yeah,
talking with us about it. That was the
yeah,
first time I really delved into it. And I am an Africana minor. Like,
yeah. I remember when we were having that conversation with them because I had just learned about it like a week or two before then.
mhm,
Like I randomly saw a documentary about it. Um, yeah, I randomly saw a documentary about rebuilding Black Wall Street,
Hmm.
like this in the specific place. And I was watching it like I can't believe I've never heard about this before. So when that family came in, because they were regulars,
Mhm.
and I think they were moving to Tulsa.
They were going back home. They were
Okay,
from there, but they were going back home.
okay, yeah. So when they brought that up, we started talking to them about it, and it was interesting to hear their perspective on it, because they were white, like they were Christians and they were white and they were from that area. I don't remember any of the details, but I could tell the wife, at least I can't remember her name, but I could tell she was shocked that I had even heard about it. When we brought it up, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I was a full adult when the first time I heard about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's how it goes. Like when they're trying to like hide this stuff from you.
Yeah.
And I saw a post. Somebody shared a post of somebody who's from Tulsa who went to Booker T. Washington High School, and like the rebuilt high school, of course.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, and how like they're like, I graduated from that high school and didn't even know the history.
Oh
Like,
wow.
That's
I'm
crazy.
just learning this history myself. So, he's like, to watch the history of where I grew up being played out now on the screen, and me not learning about it until I'm an adult and a grown adult. Like, this shows the problem that we have, and how easy it is to just, try to sweep all of our history under the rug. Why
Yeah.
it's so important for shows like Lovecraft Country to be like, no, we're going to, steep this in truth. Like, we're going to.
And then they have like the president, one of the president's first rallies be in Tulsa and
Oh
have that
yeah.
be a whole.
Yeah.
Like it was like on the anniversary, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, so in talking about this black horror renaissance, like I think that's the key thing is, like, we're really seeing horror in a completely different light, because what's scary to us is completely different than what's scary to them.
It's so true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had realized, so for years I didn't watch horror movies. Um, when I was really young, I saw Children of the Corn, um, and I know I was like, I had to be like 6 or 7 years old when I saw it, and that really messed me up. So like from there, I was like, nah, don't do horror, don't do horror. Come to find out, um, as I was watching Lovecraft Country, because it's being promoted as a horror genre, like television show,
Right.
and I'm like, but I don't like, this is cool to me.
Right.
Like none of this is scary to me. And then that's when I realized it's not so much that I don't like horror; it's I don't like seeing white people play victims.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. That
Like
makes that makes
like
a heck of a lot of sense.
like the end of Get Out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like Get Out, and I even saw it more with when I was watching Us,
Hmm.
because once again, me not liking horror, I watched Us for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Get Out because I've already heard I've heard so much about it, like I know everything that happened, so I won't really be interested in it.
Right.
But the but like the ideas of being the only black person, like in anywhere really, like in the room, at a party, like stuff like that is scary to me.
Hmm.
um Driving and being pulled over by the police, that's scary, because I know at the end of Get Out, you see the police lights flashing,
Yep.
and I know some people were like, oh well, it's a wrap, he didn't make it. And then it ends up being his boy.
Right.
Excuse me. And I know that the original ending to that went a different way.
Hmm.
So like, I think the rest of the country and the rest of the world, that the people that aren't faced with the same fears that we're faced with, are starting to see this genre in a different way, And to them, it's still like, oh man, this is crazy. This is a fun, good time. When us, it's like, nah.
Some of them, some don't like.
Well, yeah. Some, yes. Others are still like,
because why do you keep rehashing this old stuff?
I needed George Clooney to star in this one.
Right.
Yeah.
They need
George,
a savior.
I have to see Annabellum. That's on my list for next week to watch.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until it's on like a Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that, because I know it came out in theaters, right?
Annabellum.
Yeah.
Did it?
It wasn't able to come out in theaters because of the pandemic. So like.
Oh, so it's just for rent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for it to be free on Amazon Prime or Netflix or HBO, one of those.
Yeah.
Because I have access to those.
I think I'm gonna rent it. I'm gonna just rent it and watch it.
But even that, like, that's another thing that is scary, at least to me. The idea of being, I'm free one day, and then something happens, and I'm back in slave times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Even if I wasn't a slave in those times, I still don't want to go.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's like that joke. I've seen it. I saw it going around a little bit. Matter of fact, I think they talked about it in the Lovecraft Country radio podcast. After the I Am episode, I think that was the one that I heard it on, and they were like, for most Black people, when you're asked that question, like, if you could go back to any time in history, where would you go? I ain't going back nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going back. I'll try to go forward.
Yep.
See what's popping in the future.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing for us back there.
The red pill, blue pill things. Like, will you go back to the age of 10 with all the knowledge you have now, or go like to the future and have like $50 million?
Oh yeah.
I was like, of course I'm going to the future with $50 million. I was like, you think I want to relive everything that we've been through before again? Like, I don't care what I know. It's just gonna drive me crazy because I know what's coming.
Listen,
they have to put me in an insane asylum. Like, it's not gonna help.
If I go back to when I was 10 years old, mind you, that's 1992. Like, I would do it for the simple fact of experiencing like some of the music firsthand again. You know what I'm saying? But like outside of that, probably not.
I would only do it if I had Hippolyta's time machine where I could jump between. I could be like, all right, I am tired of this. That is, I am over it. And then I could jump to something else.
I am done.
I would do
I'm gonna go back, get me some Apple stock, some Disney stock,
some Amazon stock.
Well, Amazon wasn't a thing in '92.
That's true.
So when y'all were 10, it probably was.
Yeah.
But not when I was 10. So I would have to get some Microsoft stock and just stay low.
That's it.
I'll just have to get it and just stay super low for another 10 years. So when I'm 20, you know what I'm saying? Or whenever I'm back to this, almost 40.
But what would you look like to your parents at 10 years old asking to buy stock?
I would just have to do it. My parents didn't believe in me.
Your mother is watching. She's like,
I know. My parents believed in me. They did. I'm just messing. I'm just messing with them. But my father would definitely brush me off and tell me why I shouldn't do it, and my mother would just send me away probably.
Yeah,
because I did a lot of crazy stuff. I asked for a lot of weird stuff. I remember I wanted to take karate lessons. She wouldn't let me do it.
I know. I'm with you, Anthony. We're gonna move along. We're not gonna go here. We don't got much time left. There's much to talk about. But I back to even talking about us, I can't with you. Us telling our story through this genre, knowing that Lovecraft Country was based on H.P. Lovecraft, as Anthony said, and the like Lovecraftian horror
Yeah.
genre and the idea of the others. So things like aliens, shoggoths, monsters, all of these things, that was a part of the horror. But unfortunately, part of that was also the Negro.
Mhm.
And I have here Mr. H.P. Lovecraft, who it's based off of his poem on the creation of, where it says, "When long ago the gods created earth, in love's fair image man was shaped at birth. The beasts for lesser parts were next designed, yet were they too remote from mankind. To fill the gap and join the rest to man, thy Olympian host conceived a clever plan. A beast they wrought in semi human figure, filled it with vice, and called the thing, you know,
Mm.
they called it." So,
So the crazy thing to me, well, it's not crazy, but it's interesting. I call interesting things crazy. Um, and this is something that also came up in Lovecraft Country when they were in the museum in Boston.
mhm,
It comes up everywhere. It came up in with Pocahontas in the song, one of the songs about savages. Like I can't remember the dude. Was he Danish? I can't remember his name, but it was a dude from somewhere in Europe, and I believe he went to the Congo, and he ended up killing like 14 million
Yeah.
Africans
Mhm.
or something like that. And their their justification for acting the way that they acted in a lot of these things is, well, they're savages. We have to, come at them, to put them in their place, or this is all they understand. We have to be, um, not even we have to be cruel to them, but we have to. It's God's will that we put them in their place,
mm,
and it's like just saying the word, or just saying over and over again, they're savages, they're savages, they're savages, when you're the one doing all the savage stuff.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The Native Americans, when they welcomed the Pilgrims, back then, they were like, "Yo, we don't own any of this. We all share this.
Right.
The earth belongs to no one.
mm,
So instead of just letting y'all die because you don't know how to handle yourself, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna keep you warm. We're gonna teach you how to fish. We're gonna teach you how to grow food in this land."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then and then in their mind, well, they're savages. We got to get rid of them so we can get this land. You know what I'm saying? So they give them smallpox and they shoot them and they kill them, and much later on they get them drunk and keep them drunk.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
the new Savage as well. He has a criminal record.
Yeah. It's like no one should be forced to watch another man die by the hands of someone that should be serving and protecting them.
yeah, but
But
super predators. So,
but
Super.
like as clear as that statement is, we still have people like, well, he wasn't a nice person. That doesn't matter.
Listen,
yeah,
man. The name of the game is to remove the humanity from people you don't find desirable. Even was it when Letty moved up to the north side and they was putting signs on it. This is a whites only community. Desirables not wanted.
Hmm.
yep.
Or undesirables not wanted.
And even with that, like it made no sense. I was like, so you will disturb your own peace
Hmm.
just to get these people out of here
Hmm.
because those horns are so loud, it has to be bothering you too. Like,
Yeah,
aren't you tired of listening to these horns? And the
but
only
but
people doing it
that's
is
but
you.
that just shows how deep their hate was.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate you so much that I am not going to be comfortable until you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times that's just how it is for people, period. Like you existing bothers me so much. I'm not going to have peace anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I have to be extra wild to get you to leave because I really have no grounds to get you out any other
Why do
way.
you think they created suburbs?
Listen,
Yeah.
I know.
To this day, there is a fight in the House of Representatives about where to put quote unquote affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
And they will not allow affordable housing in
In
the
the
suburbs.
suburbs because they paid to get away from the riffraff.
Yep. Yep. Even though they also want to live in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So they want the city, but they also don't want you in the suburbs.
Right. Or
Make
which is
it make
why
sense.
which is why they're putting affordable housing in the suburbs because now you're putting the people who need it out further from the city, and then the people who can afford it will move back into the city. Gentrification.
Still don't make sense. But let's talk about the last episode. Just moment of silence.
So much went on in that episode. Because then you think
Hold on. We can't skip to the last episode.
We have like 10 minutes left.
Well, I would like to spend the last 10 minutes on Topsy and Bopsy.
This episode is about to run long. I'm okay with that.
when that captain like spit in his hand and rubbed it on her face, I was like, "What is going on?"
So this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk about this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have, and I didn't really think about this until like I was talking, but you have what happens to a lot of young women, and especially young Black women, where their childhood is ripped from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like her dealing with the loss of one of her best friends, Emmett Till.
Her dad.
Yeah, her dad who had passed just a couple months before. Now her mother's missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
nobody's paying attention to her.
Nope. Yeah, like everyone's
who's raising this child?
she's out there by herself. You know what I'm saying? So she leaves the line for the funeral, and she's just like, she goes to a familiar place where she found joy, but she still can't find it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She lashes out on the two other young ladies who were just chilling, eating some ice cream. And
even the whole, yo, what's that smell?
Yep.
Is that him? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yep. And then to go back to, again, talking about the music, because the choices, to start the episode with Cruel Summer.
Yeah.
Like, when I tell you that is one of the best. So yes, Lawrence, I'm glad you did go back. I apologize for trying to skip so fast, but like, that was one of the best openers to me. I remember when the Lovecraft Country sign came up, I literally was in my room like, amazing.
So like good.
The fact that they put that with it, like, and the lyrics of the song, a lot of the songs, the lyrics, I'll get to Shaboom when we get there, but you know, thinking about like the lyrics of Cruel Summer and like, now that you're gone, and like all of the people that have left, like, it's a cruel summer now that you're gone, and thinking about her, what she's going through, like you said, her best friend, her parents, like all this stuff that's going on, and her not knowing what is happening. And it's that transition that a lot of Black children go through, where your innocence is taken away quickly because of the violence and like life that's just going on, and how little Black children have to grow up so fast. And so you see her at the beginning of the show where she's like, let's go through the checklist, let's do this, let's do that. And now at the end, she's RoboCop. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and it was
Yeah.
such a quick change because of the trauma that young Black children have to face. And
But
that's why I'm saying young Black girls. And I'll let you go back to what you're saying.
yeah, like I mainly want to focus on like so she's dealing with all this stuff, and I believe she notices that the cops are following her, and so you can see how scared she is.
Yeah.
So she goes down the alley thinking, well, they can't follow me in the car down the alley, so let me go this way. But really what ends up happening is she put herself in a trap for them.
Mm-hmm.
So she's scared. He's doing this this spell. He hocked the loogie, put it on her face. You know, she's scared as crap. But because of all this, and she's running from Topsy and Bopsy,
Mm-hmm.
who are the illest to me. And I think I might be the only person that feels that way. But they are the best. Like, they are one of the best things about this show, in my opinion. However, she's now so afraid of them that her fear of the cops is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So she's been running from these two the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so now she's like, all right, it's his fault. So I'm finna go see this dude.
Yeah.
She follows him to the lodge, busts in his office, and she's yelling at him at the top of her voice.
Yeah.
She was like, yo, it's stinking here. You know what I'm saying? And when she even came back, no, she came back and said it stink. And she was like, F you, pig.
Yeah.
No child at that time would have ever talked to an adult for one like that, and a white police officer for three.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? So like her innocence has been ripped away.
Mm-hmm.
Her you know, just her life has completely changed, you know, from dealing with this traumatic experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then even with you know, when Topsy finally does get her and scratches her arm, you know, which is now turning her into a jigaboo herself. Like, dog, it changed everything, which is why she was able to come back with the robot arm. Like, oh, this is all your fault. Yeah, I love that.
And then the fact that no one else can see them, and she's like that joint was crazy. Can we just pause, right, and go back to Ruby turning into a white woman?
Hold on. Before we go there, let's go to the comments because we do have a few in there.
Yep.
Let me see, because there was Michaela had asked a question. And I wanted to.
Some critics of the show it seems disjointed. What are y'all thoughts and opinions on that?
That the show seems disjointed?
That's what I think she's saying. Well, it sounds like you don't get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of those, the people that feel that way aren't looking for
white
deeper connection. No, there's some black people that I've seen.
There's some blacks that didn't like it.
Yeah, there are some black people that I've seen saying some things like that.
Yeah.
And I just think they're being impatient. Like,
are their names Daniel and Cameron? Nothing.
I missed whatever that was.
Mm-hmm. Easter egg.
But yeah, I think they were just being impatient, and they want a show that's like that. They just hand everything to you, like, you know, on a silver platter. But I'm like, nah, you gotta look deeper.
I'd like to see what other shows they've reviewed.
Yeah, I mean, I take everybody's review with a grain of salt, even my own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll start typing something like not criticizing something negatively, but just giving my opinion. and then I'll stop and be like, it doesn't matter, and delete the whole thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But a lot of I agree, a lot of people who didn't like it, like one person that I saw, like their thing was they were always waiting for the like punchline or whatever. Like
Yeah,
they're waiting for, the nice wrap up, the tie. And they were saying it always feels like it's leaving you with a more of a like, what? Huh? And that's what I loved about it
yeah,
because I think the best shows, movies, whatever it is, are those that you cannot figure out what's going on until you get to the end.
hmm
Yo, shows stop rapping. Like shows stop making those type of endings years ago. Like
I know.
that's what keeps you watching. It being open ended.
hmm
I stopped watching a lot of new television shows. Like I don't really watch them because it's like, what's the point of me getting to the end of the season if I already know what the end of the season
It's
is
gonna
gonna
be.
be? Like,
Or if every episode has like and this is how it concluded.
exactly.
hmm
Like,
It's not a sitcom.
no.
yeah,
And you would never get to like the last episode was called Full Circle because you needed everything to get to the end.
Right.
Like it all was leading up to that one moment. And so if they kept tying it up pretty, like, and Ruby is white, the end. Like, like it wouldn't work. The show wouldn't work any other way.
yeah, yeah. And like you said, I think that's the what I loved about the show more, probably more than anything else. Um, let me see. Michaela also said, learn something every day. The funeral was the hottest day of the summer. Yeah, that
Mm.
was that was real. Anthony said, and she wasn't able to speak about what was happening to her. Yeah, yeah. I think that added to the terror because when she did try to say something, she would start choking.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a part of the spell.
Mm-hmm.
And I
hmm
think going back to kind of what Lawrence was saying earlier, or started to say about like um especially for like little, I think you both were saying it. I don't remember who said it, but um what little black girls had to go through and how their voices were so silenced.
mm
Um and that trauma, we already know about like the rapings and all these other different things that happen, but how silenced they are, how so many of our little black girls go missing even now, like, and how it's not being talked about. And like while she's riding her bike, they have that voiceover moment
Yep.
where it's talking about all of the little black girls whose stories are not
Dude,
told.
those moments.
Amazing. Like I'm telling you,
It's like
the
I don't know
monologues that were going on.
who
Oh,
curated all the
oh,
sound. Genius,
just beautiful. It was the best work of art. It was just
genius.
magnifico. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, but like to go back
And,
and
and then and then heads exploded, and that's great.
yeah, a little bit of our history, and then
Dude,
blow some stuff up.
Let me see. So Misha Green is good for giving an episode that focuses on black children. She having it mess you up. I don't know.
uh,
It started to
Wait,
not
what?
make
probably
sense to
she
me.
be having it mess you up. I was like, so yeah.
Michaela, what are some other things that Misha Green has done? Give us some homework to check
She
out.
Yeah,
did
right.
Underground,
Oh, that's right. She did do Underground.
also with Journey Smollett,
Yeah,
which
I had been. What's up?
I did not watch. I was kind of over like slave shows and all that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
still
feel
I'm
you.
still over it.
I think that was one of the shows my mother was watching, and I thought about starting it. I just never got around to it. So I might go back and watch that. Um, Anthony also said, also I believe her outfit, that episode was a nod to the Negro Leagues. I
Hmm.
believe it was as
Yeah.
well. And Michaela asked, some find it problematic that black women want to cosplay Topsy and Bobsy. What say y'all?
I know.
I'm yeah, I'm for cosplay
Yep.
of all kinds. So
Yeah,
do it.
I
handle
know.
business.
I think that if people can cosplay Michael Myers and Jason and all those people, why can't you cosplay Topsy and Bopsy?
Yep.
And a lot of the times it usually is on that like if everybody can't do it, then
You
nobody
can
can
do
do
it.
it type stuff.
Yeah.
But
But
no,
see, but the thing is, everyone can do it. That's one of the dope things about cosplay that I love. Um,
It has to be done right.
yeah,
yeah.
it definitely has to be done right.
Because you,
If
you
if
you
if
throwing that
you
blackface.
yeah, I was gonna say if you're a white person that's watching this and you're thinking about cosplaying Topsy and or Bopsy, whether you are a man or a woman, if you put on blackface, understand them hands will be put on you.
But if they cosplay Topsy and Bopsy, they're just Raggedy Ann and Andy.
That's a fact. That's
But
fact.
as funny as that is, like that's still a dope thing about cosplay
Listen,
because you can make that a thing.
Mm.
public service announcement. Listen, it's almost Halloween, and every year some idiot is in the news because they did blackface. White people, don't be that idiot.
Someone's gonna do it just because you said that.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Somebody's getting their Topsy and Bopsy outfit together as we
I
speak.
mean,
They're getting their fit together, laying it down on a bed, like, oh yeah,
right?
just wait till I uh burn up this cork.
Yeah, they getting they black, yeah, they black face
I
paint.
said, let me burn up this cork. I'm finna do this right. I'm gonna be in
Listen,
these streets.
Listen, man.
listen, please don't.
If that's you either don't want your job or already lost your job.
Yeah.
Let me see. My brother Kyle said, I think Topsy and Bopsy are some dope and terrifying monsters. The, I guess, the ill creative idea.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I've already said it a couple times. I love Topsy and Bopsy.
The autocorrect is killing y'all in the comments right now.
Then Kyle said, it follows a clear narrative while hitting multiple genres.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes back to what we were saying about people liking a show like this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, that's like, give me everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing in life is black and white. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is a mix of a bunch of things. Like even us as individuals. I remember a long time hearing someone say that we are the sum of all of our experiences.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
none of us would be who we are today if it weren't for what we went through. Now, yes, there is some nature stuff. There are some aspects of our personalities and who we are that is like it's always going to be there. But even who we are is molded slightly by what we've been through and what we've learned.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like I think the best stories are kind of told like from that aspect of, you know, like Lovecraft Country is horror, but it can't just be a slasher show
Right.
because nothing else would make sense. You got to give them something else. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put a little. You
I
know what I'm
mean, yeah,
saying?
we're there for the suspense. We're there for the story.
Yeah, yo, the sci-fi stuff, all of it. You know.
It's basically American Horror Story, but for us.
Yeah.
I've never watched American Horror Story.
I watched
It's
the
good.
first 3 seasons. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I thought about watching it, but what turned me off was one season they were doing it was like a circus
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
kind
the
of thing and
that's
like
the
the
mascot
oddities
too. Yeah.
like that stuff like nah like I've seen so I used to work at Brigham and Women's Hospital and attached to the hospital is the Harvard Medical Library. Um, when I worked at the hospital, I took on another person's job to help them out, and he worked in like the radiology mailroom, and so he had to take mail all over the campus. And one of the places was to that library. And they had specimens and like bones from like the 20s. Like I'm talking about like skeletons of babies that were like conjoined twins.
Mm.
Like crazy stuff where like you saw two skulls like fused together like at the temple. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I forgot the name of the disease, but there's a disease where like your bones are like kind of twisted.
Mm.
Like it's something that doesn't really happen now, but this was like back, you know, 100 or so years ago. And like they had like these bones in jars. And it was like literal like a spiral, like a was it a femur just twisted up in a spiral. So like the fact that that stuff is real, it makes like the oddity stuff a little bit too real to me. So
Gotcha.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see it. Uh, um, let me see. Anthony said, "Not if you watch terrible shows, Chris."
Yeah.
And Michaela said, "People don't get the multiple genres thing. That's where criticism comes from, in my opinion." Yeah, I think that goes back to what we were saying about some people wanting everything to be like exactly one thing and wrapped up
Right.
nicely and neatly in a bow.
Yeah. But even like thinking about um like Lovecraftian horror is not your typical horror. So
Right.
you're not going to get a typical horror show
Yeah,
from it because that genre is its own special thing in itself.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it's definitely sci-fi, but like, yeah.
Yeah, like exactly. It's where sci-fi and horror meet.
Right.
Let me see. There's mad more comments that that have been added since we started looking at
I'm
them.
like, yeah. And people are up now.
Yeah. Let me see. Kyle said, whoever said that was hurt from watching Lost. Yeah, Lost was trash.
Mm.
I'm gonna just put it out there like that.
I saw like one season of Lost.
Yeah, like in my opinion, it doesn't matter how good something is if it ends badly,
Yeah.
because the ending is a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't. Now, I didn't watch Lost as it was going on, but I did watch a bit of it for a while, and I was like, okay, you know, it's cool,
Yeah.
but the way that it ended was like, so y'all did exactly what y'all kept saying wasn't the thing.
Right.
Whatever. Like
Yeah.
same with Game of Thrones. Now I'm not. Well, no, I am saying that Game of Thrones is trash. I really enjoyed Game of Thrones. Do I like how it ended? No, I don't. But it's not my story.
You know, I never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of it was dope. Um,
The last season, they just let their child write it. They were like, "You bored? Hmm."
Right. Yeah.
listen, I forgot Shorty's name, but after she killed the White Walker, the show was over for me. That was I was literally standing in my room watching that. Mind you, I had to be up for work at 3 in the morning, and it's like going on like 12:30 at night, and I'm watching her stab the White Walker, and I screamed like audibly and loudly. I think I woke my father up, and he was like, "Huh, you good?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, my bad. We straight." Now I got to go to sleep for 2 hours.
Hilarious.
Um, let me see. Anthony said, I saw on Twitter that someone didn't like it or watch it because of the magic in the show. What say y'all?
That's
Ooh.
well,
So
that all that demon stuff y'all doing.
Yeah.
I am so glad you brought this comment up, Anthony, because this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about, especially within the Black community. We are um, notorious for being like, I don't mess with all that hoodoo voodoo stuff, but yet we are the most superstitious people that I know. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the stuff we do is, steeped in
Is
superstition. And
superstition.
superstition is a part of, you know, that culture of magic, which is what the show is talking about, how it explains it runs in our ancestral history.
Mm-hmm.
And it was taken and used for evil and abused by, the whites. Um, and getting to episode 9, they got to make it right. Like, so even though, yes, it was a lot, there was a lot of spell casting and a lot of different things. I listened to Journey talk about how her pastor had like her covered in prayer, like super steeped in prayer while she was doing this show because of all of the different spells and stuff, even though she said they weren't real spells that they were
Right.
using.
Yeah.
But again, how do we know? Like, I don't know spells. So most times I'm not trying to mess with that. But,
We could just
there's
speak in random Latin.
exactly. They're probably just saying like tomato, tomato over and over.
Right. Like
Like,
the Pledge of Allegiance in Latin.
pasta fagioli.
Right.
Pasta fagioli. Like over and over. But you
Spaghetti
have
bolognese. Spaghetti
but you have, um again talking about how with the black horror renaissance, like changing the story and changing the narrative, all we ever hear about when it comes to magic is white people magic, which is warlocks, Dracula,
David
uh,
Blaine.
David Blaine. Like it's heavy, heavy, heavy in um like white history,
Mm-hmm.
the Salem witch trials and also the kind of stuff. You don't really see anything about people of color, but you have, I love the nod to even like natives
Mm-hmm.
when they had the woman and Titus bound her and her people, like that nod to what America did to the natives.
Right.
And how it was like, he basically killed all of her people and bound her to do his bidding. Um, Having that nod, so talking about the like everything that is with the Native Americans, and then how like the ancestry and running through the blood and realizing like, no, this is what it's used for. Because a lot of times when you do research and you listen, now let me say, before anybody whoever is watching this might say Minister Spivey and Evangelist Spivey, your daughter is endorsing magic. No, I am not. Like, put that out there first, because I know somebody gonna try to run back and tell my mama that I'm over here
Right.
talk about spell casting.
About some magic, right?
Exactly, it's not what I'm doing. But if you look in history, a lot of stuff, like when it comes to um, like medicine, like ancient medicine and healing and all that kind of stuff, it was steeped heavily in um, how magic was that connection between the earth and people, and like that was a lot of what the show was showing, like how it was used for good and could be used for good, and they were
Right.
able to heal. Um,
Yeah, how Tick said, it's a tool. Like we got it's how we use it.
exactly, like it was a tool, but then on the other hand, you see the side where they just were trying to use it for power. So I think that if people pause for a second and really just listen, um, everything is not, even though it's a horror show, like everything isn't ooga booga. Like just take a second.
And people just
Take a
be
second.
quick to have their opinion. That's all that is.
Yeah, and be so scary. And I think sometimes that can mess us up as well. When you're so scary that you just completely avoid something, that's when you get caught up. Instead of
Yeah.
actually taking the time,
Educate
learning about
yourself.
something so that you know what the truth is.
And taking it back to Hannah, that was exactly what her thing was. She was so scared
Mm-hmm.
that she tried to keep everything as opposed to using it as a tool
Right.
to fix things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And she definitely like they even addressed that with how she was like, "Oh, I believe that this was God punishing me because
Right.
I used the devil's book." Like, in that line, in there, um, but even how like the great grandmother, like she quotes Jeremiah 29:11, and like they go on, and it's very like there's a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Um, Michaela said they finna have us all at the altar after saying we doing witchcraft.
Hilarious.
Yes. Yep. And Anthony said, um, now he's thinking about it. Tick was trying so hard. Was that to die, Anthony, or not to die? And Gia told him he was going to.
Right.
Um, oh, he says, they made sure to get that baptism in there. Tick was gonna die washed in the blood of the lamb.
That's hilarious. That's so true.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I was I was listening. No, I wasn't listening. I was reading. Um, oh, he was trying so hard to die. Hmm.
I think I think we kind of touched on it a few episodes ago when we were talking about African spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I think a lot of people, a lot of Christians are so quick to call something demonic or call something witchcraft or point things out as one way when they don't realize that some of the things that they do are witchcraft.
Hmm.
They just don't realize it because that's what they were taught to do in
Because
church.
it's steeped in tradition, and their
Like,
traditionalism supersedes this, the connection to God.
yeah, like, so I'm going to go ahead and go there since I brought it up. But like, witchcraft is about control,
Mhm.
right? It's about like you'll say they said it a few times, or I should say Christina said it a few times in the show, where she was like, it's not just about having a spell, but you have to have intention behind your spell. You have to have action to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? And having intention behind the words that you say is really just exerting your will over whatever you're dealing with or whatever you're talking about. And so for us as Christians, when we pray, we should be praying to know God's will for our life. But a lot of times we're told to pray to have something happen. You know what I'm saying? Now it's one thing to we have our desires, that's cool. We have what we want for ourselves, that's cool. But when your prayer is only to make things turn out how you want them to turn out and not for you to um all right, example.
Submit your will.
Yeah, exactly. Example. Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. He knew what he had to do when he was there.
Mm.
There was never a question in his mind. He now in his humanity, he didn't want to do it to the point where he was sweating blood. He did not want to do it with every fiber of his being. He did not want to do it. And and in his prayer, he was saying, asking God, asking the Father, if there is any way possible,
Mm-hmm.
take this cup from me. Like, don't make me have to do this. If there is absolutely any way, even the slightest, smallest way for me to not have to do this, please let's explore that option. But nevertheless, not my will, let your will be done.
Yeah.
So
Can I
that's
pause you for a quick
mhm,
second?
mhm,
Because Tick's whole moment with his mother was like a Garden of Gethsemane moment.
mhm.
I throw
It
that out
was.
there. It definitely was, with him saying like, "I don't want to die. and his mother being like,
But you got to do it.
you got to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. So that's an example of, Jesus, our perfect example, knowing what was in front of him, not wanting it to be that way, but submitting his will to his Father's will. We should take that example in all things and say, when we pray, God, show me how to get out of this situation. But if I have to go through this, help me go through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of believers, and it's just, it just kind of coincides, or it just so happens to be that a lot of the times that I've noticed, the people that are quick to call something demonic or shout witchcraft about something are the same ones that are trying to force God to do what they want him to do, as opposed to
Trying to bend God to their will.
exactly. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with that.
That's so much. I am I'm like sad because it's so late and I know that we all have to work in the morning. So we need to wind down. And I know there's much, much more that we could talk about, but um I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about this some more
Oh
later
yeah.
because it's just that great. And as we know, Black Heart is putting its stake in the ground, saying it ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Monkey Paw Productions, Mr. Jordan Peele, really doing the thing, bringing it back, making it known. I have some, I have suggestions. And if you guys have suggestions for things that I think people should watch, one of them is horror noir. And if if you haven't seen it, it's a documentary about Black horror, and it goes literally through the history of the film industry with horror and where Black people fit in, and how we have been on this journey of non-acceptance in the genre to now really having a claim in it. Um, there's a line that uh, is said that I absolutely, absolutely loved, or it was, learning that, like, basically letting the world know that people will watch Black horror or horror movies with Black people in it if you just let us make it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
And so that's what's being done now. We see with Lovecraft Country, like, people are going to watch it. Just give us the means to make it, meaning get out our way.
Yeah.
Do what we got to
Get out of our way.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I co-sign that suggestion. Um, I learned a lot by watching it. One of the things that I learned that I didn't realize was Tales from the Hood is considered horror.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I legit thought it was a comedy. I legit thought it was a comedy. I mean, it made sense once they were talking about it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that is supposed to be scary.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
a
like,
lot of
well,
our horror from that time was like comedic.
yeah, but
You have was it Leprechaun Leprechaun in the
Yeah,
Hood?
Leprechaun. Uh,
Like,
yeah, all our stuff had that like a little, like it couldn't be too serious.
what, Leprechaun?
No, all of our comedy. I mean, all of our horror movies couldn't be too serious. They had to have a little bit of comedy in there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I legit thought it was just a comedy.
Yeah.
I laughed at everything. David Allen Greer uh, beating his family.
And his
It's
son crumpling him up.
yeah, his son crumpling him up. I was like, oh snap, and I was dying. The little slaves coming out of the painting, attacking the senator or whatever.
No.
I was rooting them on.
That's why I don't like Topsy and Bopsy, because they actually scared me. Like I don't like things that, like, the paintings made me think of all the little dolls. Like every black mama had the doll with no face. It was
Right.
just a doll and then nothing. Like,
Them Amish dolls.
no, God, I can't. And a lot of the paintings, like the like walking to church paintings and stuff, it was just little black
Oh.
spots,
Yeah.
black spots with legs, like they had no faces. And it made me think of that's the way the paintings looked when the doll, like when the characters came out of the painting. It was just like the black spot left where it was.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
So now you got Topsy and Bopsy. You talk about let me in. I'm like, nope,
That song stays in my head.
nope, yo, no. I'm glad it doesn't for me anymore. Now I just have um actually I guess my last comment will be the song that I have in my head that the show made me think about was Crossroads. And I was like, I feel like they could have threw that in there somewhere.
They could have. That would be hilarious.
Yep. So it's
I'm
definitely
glad. I'm glad they didn't,
definitely could have
because
fit. They
I
could
would
put
have.
this playlist.
I would have been dying. Oh yeah. Speaking of playlists, anyone that was interested and watched our episode from last week about R&B, that playlist is available on Spotify. I'll repost the link to it. When I tell you, it's like that joint is probably what, like 12 hours
Yeah.
long.
Yo, I legit didn't think you were gonna put all that music. I was like, I thought we were gonna do like a song per artist.
Well, I thought about that, but I was like, yo, there's too many good songs. Like some of these people have way too much good music, and I tried to add even the ones that we didn't have written down. I tried to add everyone that we talked about, and at least I want to say at least 2 or 3 songs from each person. So uh,
Except for Prince, Janet, and Etta, but that's fine. We're just
yeah, I left them out. I
Well,
left them
Prince
out.
ain't on streaming services.
I thought his family added him.
Did he? Did they?
I think some songs are on there now.
Oh.
Yeah, I know they were talking about it. I do remember them talking about it. Um, but yeah, so if you're interested, need a playlist for when you're cleaning the house, uh, that is available. Like I said, I'll post the link one more time so you guys, excuse me, can see it. And yeah, if you guys have any ideas or any thoughts or any comments or anything that you want us to talk about in the future, please let us know. DM us individually, DM the Link Media page, and we'll, see about getting that on.
Yeah. And Michaela said, watch Underground, Eve's Bayou, and the new Candyman coming out.
Oh yeah, speaking of Eve's Bayou, I can't remember which episode it was, but there was a scene where Journey Smollett was wearing the same outfit as her mother
In Eve's
in
Bayou.
Eve's Bayou.
Yep.
And so that made me want to actually go back and watch Eve's Bayou. I never saw it before, and I do plan on watching the first Candyman, not the second and third one, but I will watch the first one because I'm looking forward to seeing the new one that's coming out. That joint is crazy.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the actors that are in all these things. The dude that's in Candyman, the new one, he was also in what do you call it? He was in Us as the main girl's father, and he was in Watchmen. Yeah. So all these actors are killing it, and that's it. That's it for me.
All right, y'all. Well, that's it. We're done. We're done for the day, but we'll be back next week. Tell someone to go watch the replay and
friend,
leave
tell a friend.
comments. And if you think of anything else, let's talk about it, because there's always something to talk about, even if we don't want to talk about it. So, and go vote. Early voting started.
Yes, go vote.
All right.
All right, good night, y'all.
Peace.